OTalakayan is PAOT's first online interview program that tackles different topics and issues in OT practice and education. Now, for the month of May, the topics will focus on telehealth.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, our dear viewers. Welcome to our 8th episode. So, just a recap of what has transpired. During our 7th episode, we discussed about asynchronous telehealth. So, basically, what are we supposed to consider? What are we supposed to prepare when we are to give home programs to our clients? So, it was very informative. We learned so much information about the requirements that we need to have or the things that we need to consider. Case in point, the layout of the house, the materials inside the house. And it really stresses to us the importance of tapping all the family members, the parents, the siblings, in order for us to carry out well a home program. So for today's session, it will be all about occupation-based coaching. So we'll be able to learn what is that concept all about. Are we already doing that one? Or if even if we are doing that, what are we supposed to add to the things that we are doing right now for us to really say that we are doing occupation-based coaching, and now it will be delivered through telehealth. And we're very fortunate that we are joined right now by our two esteemed resource persons. So maybe you could introduce them, Dennis.
Okay, Kim. Now let me introduce to you our esteemed guest speakers for this afternoon. So our guest speakers are Mr. Dominic Choc and Mr. Bernard Carpio. Now, Mr. Dominic Choc graduated from the University of the Philippines, Manila, and has been practicing for the past 8 years. He is currently affiliated with Chatter Therapy Center, and currently he started telehealth last April of 2020, and he currently has 5 synchronous teletherapy clients and 1 asynchronous telehealth client, so for home program. Now, some of his clients are early intervention clients and some are school age. According to him, his center started telehealth and then they browsed through protocols and approaches. And one of the most effective or suggested approaches is occupation-based coaching. Now, Mr. Bernard Carpio graduated from the University of Santo Tomas and has been practicing for the past 4 years and 7 months. He is currently affiliated with Medical Center Manila and Manila Doctors Hospital. He has helped in the conceptualization of telehealth protocol for Manila Med and Maddox. Teaching occupation-based coaching to his coworkers is also what he has been busy since the lockdown. Currently, he has parent education clients through telehealth. He has 2 clients for telehealth where he does caregiver or parent education.
Okay, so welcome Dom, welcome Bernard. So I think our viewers are very curious and interested in really knowing about the topic that you're going to discuss right now. So maybe we could start with knowing or asking you first, what are the key principles in occupation-based coaching? Maybe we could start with Bernard.
Hello everyone, nice to see you again. So dito, to explain such, share screen ko sa inyo yung ginawa kong PDF. Pero, sorry. Okay. Okay. So, first off, occupation-based coaching. So, big word, di ba? So, ang una kong tatanong sa sarili ko dito, nung bago ko siya gawin, ginagawa ko na ba siya? Tapos, is it really different from what I've been doing before? So, nung nabasa ko ng literature about the process, the flow, nalaman ko na meron palang mga bagay na nagagawa ko na, pero hindi lang ako aware na it's basically coaching already. So hopefully this episode of OTalakayan can help you understand and even reflect on yourselves na kung ginagawa niyo na ba yung practice, and if not, maybe you can incorporate such. So, to start, ano raw yung principles? So, bago tayo sa principles, I have here the inspiration or the basis for the occupation-based coaching, which are the following coaching models: occupational performance coaching or OPC, early childhood coaching, tsaka contextual intervention. So, those are all coaching models na nag-iiba lang sa principles din na ginagamit nila or yung focus. So, pero primarily, the focus that they gave on was client-centered practice, family-centered practice, tapos yung early childhood model, dinagdag niya yung adult learning model. So, kung napanood niyo yung previous episode, na-discuss natin yung adult learning principles. And dito sa coaching natin, ang pinaka na-highlight dito is yung insights, experiences, tapos yung reflection na binibigay dun sa mga parents as adult learners. For the principles, meron tayong, 5. So first, authentic context. So ngayong nasa lockdown tayong pare-parehas and we're using telehealth, saktong-sakto to kasi yung occupation-based coaching, tinry siya talaga through telehealth. So, and ang nagustuhan natin dito is ang basis niya is yung authentic context. Since nasa bahay na sila, it gives much more meaning to the intervention kasi nga, ganun yung relevance kasi nasa actual setting na siya. Versus kung sa center, hindi masyadong nakakakuha ng meaning yung parent or yung parent kasi nga, it's not where the behavior usually occurs. So, the translation isn't much expected. Whereas kung sa authentic context, right then and there, kaya na niya agad ibigay yung intervention kasi nga doon talaga siya nangyayari. Kind of similar is yung family's interest and routine. So dito kaya mamaya sa process explain pa ni Dominic yung kung paano niyo makikita yung principles na to doon sa mga parents sa mga clients niya. Pero for families, interests, and routines, we basically yung mga intervention natin or yung pag-promote natin ng occupational performance on these areas or context, yung interest and saka routines ng bata. So, since nandun ulit sila sa bahay lang, we are at a opportune time for us to dissect and check kung saan may barriers and facilitators within these areas na pwede nating magawa or magamit in the coaching process para mas ma-build natin yung occupational performance ng parents and ng child. So, even parents mag-benefit talaga dito sa approach na to. So, next, caregiver interaction and responsiveness. So, the coaching process in itself is based on the interaction na papakita ng caregivers natin dun sa telehealth program natin basically. So, doon yung magiging content basically ng bulk ng mga questions natin, may it be reflective questioning or the feedback that we're going to give to build on again the gaps and the facilitators that they should be employing para ma-achieve yung occupational performance. So fourth, nabanggit ko na reflection and feedback. So in this coaching model, we'll be using a lot of reflection and feedback that will be used para ma-build yung knowledge, insights, perspectives, and even other capabilities ng caregivers. So, an example, unang-una, given naman na siguro knowledge. So, using reflection and feedback, we want them to arrive and to share actually what they already know about a certain technique, perhaps. Nag-work ba siya? At kung hindi nag-work, ano ang pwede natin gawin? So, yun yung magiging process ng reflection and feedback. So, doon tayo papasok para mas ma-facilitate natin yung thinking ng magulang, hindi yung, kasi kung ikukumpara mo to sa traditional teaching natin, one is imposing or directive, and the other is this, coaching. Coaching is inviting. So example, may mommy, hindi siya kumakain, nahihirapan siyang kumain, maybe you can provide this. Sagot ng mommy, yes. Hindi po teacher. Versus kung coaching ang gagamitin natin, mommy, ano na po yung na-try nyo before na nakita nyo na nag-work sa kanya? Teacher, ganito, 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 ganito. So the coaching process invited them in the conversation para makita mo ano yung insights nila. Kasi parang imposible naman na wala silang ginawa. I mean, siguro most of them, may ginawa na yan bago pa dumating sa atin. So we want to know more on those para yung bigay natin sa kanila, akma na. Kasi meron akong nabasa na nakakatuwa. For those practitioners na hindi nagtatanong reflectively at bigay lang ng bigay, merong nagsabi na case na 9 out of 10 na sinuggest ng therapist, nagawa na ng magulang. So anong effect nun sa nanay? Competence-wise, parang bumagsak tayo. Kasi nga, alam ko na yan, teacher eh. Kasi sinabi sa akin, mali naman. 9 out of 10, hindi nag-work. Whereas, kung tinanong niya agad beforehand na ito po yung ginawa ko, ito yung nag-work, ito yung hindi, saka siguro pumasok dun sa equation for you to guide dun sa better solutions. And lastly, joint plans. Joint plans actually is the starting point of this coaching process. We start with collaborating on the goals, and ang ina-emphasize dito sa process is relevance and meaningfulness dun sa caregiver. So dito, as much as possible, you want the goals to be parent identified para mas maging meaningful sa kanila, mas magkaroon or mas mag-invite pa ng engagement. And this will be the basis for the coaching questions. For example, nag-meet kayo after one coaching session, you start the session by asking, "Mommy, can you describe what you did when in between our sessions? Mommy, did it work? Mommy, what modifications did you provide?" So in that sense, you're already parang you gave the parent a chance para mas mag-engage pa for them to act on those plans. Kaya very essential yung joint plans to start with. So ito yung mga principles na ginagamit natin. And mamaya, ayun, Dominic can provide yun mas siguro specific ones. Thank you.
Okay, so Bernard mentioned something about authenticity of the context, the need for collaboration, and on top of it, we need to have constant reflection of the things that we are doing. Maybe Dom can add some more principles that we could adapt when we are doing occupation-based coaching.
Yeah. Thank you, Kim and Bernard. So I'll be sharing my slides also. So I hope everyone is seeing it already. Okay. So the key principles that Bernard mentioned earlier, same lang din yung isi-share ko. However, it's more practical in such a way na I will explain it based on my experience. So it's very experiential, okay? So how did I apply the principle of authentic context? So as Bernard mentioned earlier, very important yung home environment during our circumstances at the moment. So I think it's a very big concern for many families na anong gagawin ng aking child, no, aking anak, no, sa bahay, no? So identifying the context wherein the child is usually found or kung saan siya laging nagsistay is very important. So I mentioned here, maybe sa bedroom siya madalas nagsistay. Is it bathroom? Is it toileting ang concern? So maybe you have to look into the bathroom. Kumusta po ba yung bathroom? Meron po bang bathtub? Meron bang place to play? For example, we know that the child likes water play. So that's something we could explore. Living room. So one of the big places or spacious spaces in a house or a home is a living room. So what can we found in the living room? And maybe kitchen also. No? So those are some contexts that we have to look into. In terms of the family's interests and routines, I always ask about their schedule, specifically the schedule of the child or of my client. Okay? I always ask if what time siya nagigising, what time siya kumakain, breakfast, lunch, dinner, or snacks. I usually ask kung may siesta. 'Di ba? As we all know, Filipinos like to sleep during the afternoon. So siesta time is very, very important to take note. What time siya nagiging active or magiging playful. For example, you're targeting play. Ah? And then, we have to identify the preferred toys or activity. Ano ba yung mga gusto niya na toys? Ano ba yung mga activities niya? And that activity would be from running around, jumping, no? Kapag sensory seeking yung child. And of course, as mentioned ni Bernard earlier, we are coaching the parents. So it's very important to know the work schedule of the parents or the caregiver. No? So some of the parents, meron pa rin silang 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. work. So coaching might be difficult for them. Or you have to look into other schedule or other time for it to occur yung coaching. Okay? Then, okay. So for the caregiver interaction and responsiveness, I usually observe the relationship of the child and the parent. So how do I do that? So usually, I allow them to play or they interact with each other. And then, tinitingnan ko, is the parent too demanding? 'Di ba? Minsan may ganun tayong feel na, ay, si mommy ang daming demand kay kay child o kay client. Ino-note ko yon, no? Iti-take down ko yon, no? Or does the child ignore the parent or the caregiver? No? So kahit anong itry na interaction ng parent dun sa caregiver, ay yung parent sa child, hindi talaga nag-i-ignore. So you have to take down of that observation. Does the parent look tired or anxious when interacting with the child or with the client? Very important to take note. Mukha ba siyang pagod si mommy or si daddy? Or si yaya? Or si ate? Or na-anxious ba siya? So those things will be very important in thinking of coaching questions as what Bernard mentioned earlier, no? Yung mga coaching questions. Kasi sometimes as therapists, we tend to be directive, 'di ba, Bernard? Minsan automatic sa atin na mami, ito yung gawin mo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 'Di ba? Usually ganun yun sa clinic. However, in this coaching, in this occupation-based coaching approach, we are more on a guide or a support for the parents. Okay? For the reflection and feedback, I always ask, what worked? Ano po yung mga na-try nyo na o yung mga nasubukan nyo ng mga strategies para ma-address yung goal or yung concern na ni-raise nyo? Ano po yung mga hindi nag-work? Yan. And then I promote problem solving. So I always ask, so kung hindi po siya nag-work, ano po yung mga tinry nyo pa? Ano po kaya yung naging difficulty o yung naging parang struggle nyo nung tinry nyo itong strategy na ito? So I'll talk about that later on. And then joint plan. So goal setting and very important planning before and after each session. No? So hindi matatapos ang coaching session na nakahang yung parents or yung service provider. So dapat meron kayong continuous planning or which is joint planning. Okay? So,
Okay. Thank you, Bernard and Dom, for helping us understand and sharing the key principles of occupation-based coaching. Now, what's really striking for me are the following, yung taking into consideration really the context, the authentic context of your clients, and then taking into consideration the interests and the routines. And then also is to understand the dynamics at home. Sometimes we tend to forget about these things, yung dynamics ng caregiver, ng parents to their child. And also, yun nga, veering away from directing, but more onto collaborating with the parents that we are coaching. Now, for our next question, what are the benefits of occupation-based coaching in telehealth? maybe Dom can give us, share to us what he knows about this first.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Okay, let's go back to my slides. Okay, I hope it works. Does it work? Okay, so here are some of the benefits that I observe when I do occupation-based coaching with my clients. First is, one of the things that I observe is nag-increase yung child's adaptive behavior. So, paano ko nasasabi yun, no? Since nasa home context sila and the parents are the ones doing the intervention or doing the strategies, mas nakukuha nila yung patterns or yung behavior patterns or routines ng bata. And then, mas naiintindihan nila how the child behaves and how the child is. So, mas nagkakaroon sila ng complete image. No? Hindi lang siya parang laging, ito, malikot lang siya. No? So, ngayon, mas nag-i-improve yung understanding nila. Next is parent became or becomes an active member of the intervention process, which is very, very different in our clinical setting. As we all know, diba? Some of us, the parents, are waiting outside, diba? While we do our strategies, we do our activities. However, during the occupation-based coaching, the parents or the caregivers will be the one doing the intervention with you. So, very, very important na active members nila. So, I mentioned here, fewer missed sessions. So, I think from April until now, wala pang nag-absent na kids ko. No? So, I think that's something very beneficial for us kasi alam nila or they understand that you are guiding them in order to achieve the goals of their children, which is very important during this lockdown since most are work from home. Okay. I also mentioned decrease in financial burdens on families and service provider. So this one is very particular, no? Kasi may clients ako na hindi naman within Quezon City. So our clinic is in Quezon City. So some of them really need to go there via commute or via, a car. So syempre yung gas and all other finances. But now, since they're doing occupation-based coaching via telehealth, they don't have to drive or commute to the clinic. So, decrease ang burden, no? Financial burden. And then, if you use the available resources at home, sabihin, yung mga gamit nila, like yung toys nila, yung mga equipment nila, yung stairs nila for activities, walang masyadong gastos. Kaya, okay din for them. No? Another one is better continuity of care. So parents feel empowered and they feel confident in handling the concerns of the child. Since we are guiding them, we are supporting them, no? We are not being directive, they become more confident. Mas tumataas yung self-esteem nila in handling the concerns of their child. Okay? This one is very nice, no? Change in perspective. So, usually siguro nafe-feel natin or sinasabi lagi ng mga magulang, teacher, hindi niya kaya to. Teacher, mahirap to sa kanya. Teacher, eto parang hindi talaga kaya. When we do occupation-based coaching, yung napansin ko, they have this change in perception of their children or of their child. No? So napapansin ko, mas nag-focus sila sa strengths ng child na, ay, kaya pala niyang mag-follow. Kaya pala niyang mag-sit down. No? So one of my clients, ayaw na ayaw niya talaga ang writing. As in, ayaw niya humawak ng pencil, ayaw niya ng paper. Occupation-based coaching, yun, nakakapag-trace na kami. No? So, sobrang nakita nung caregiver at ng parent na, oh, kaya naman pala. Kaya ko palang pagsulatin yung anak ko. No? Nag-i-increase din yung positive statements na dati hindi kaya, ngayon kaya. Ang galing na niyang humawak ng pencil. Ang galing na niyang umupo habang tracing. No? So, yun yung mga na-observe ko. And then, of course, since may change, nag-i-increase din yung physical affection. So, mas mafe-feel mo na mas parang love nila yung kanilang mga anak, which is very, very satisfying, di ba, as a therapist to see na the child and the parents' interaction are really working. No? And then, for that, so parent-child yun, dito naman is, of course, increase in trust and collaboration with parents and therapists. No? So the therapeutic relationship is strengthened. As mentioned earlier ni Bernard, imagine 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 strategies that we give are possible or probable na try na nila. No? So if you increase your trust and collaboration, mas nagiging beneficial yung occupation-based coaching sa kanila. And mas nag-strengthen yung relationship nyo therapeutically. And ma-achieve nyo yung goals na sinet nyo for the child.
There, I think that changing perspective is really something, because most of the time when they are just handling our clients, and then the caregivers or the parents will just be in the waiting room, or they will just be there. Most of the time, our interaction has something to do with the problem that they are presenting, right? So, teacher, sana ma-target nyo to. Teacher, palagi siyang ganito. But
Oo.
because they are really there, immersed in the therapy session, and they're not alone, the OT would be continuously be there coaching. To some extent, they would really be empowered. And then
Yeah.
through continuous sessions, more than the problem or more than the weaknesses, what they would really be able to appreciate would be the things, the improvement that they would be seeing. And what would be more empowering there would be they are really the one who made that
Yeah,
possible through the
exactly.
facilitation of the coaching. Okay, how about Bernard? So could you add some more benefits of occupation-based coaching?
Dagdag ko lang siguro, sir, Kim, dun sa sinabi ni Dominic. Actually, sasummarize ko lang siya. Basically, what Dominic presented are practical benefits, actually. So, itong present ko dito, ito yung sinabi dun sa literature para tingnan natin kung tama yung na-observe ni Dominic. So, dun muna sa practical benefits, I think we'd have to agree on all of those, lalo na yung sa cost. Lalo na yung sa cost kasi nga, they wouldn't have to go to the clinics na. Kaya, tamang-tama tong opportunity na to na telehealth yung gamitin natin. Pero, din sa nakita natin sa literature, the benefits are usually specified into two or classified into two. One is parent outcomes and the other is child outcomes. And parehas naman to nag-offer siya at the same time. So for the parent outcomes, these are mostly related to self-efficacy, problem-solving skills, tsaka yung overall competence ng magulang. And kanina, ang daming nabanggit na concepts ni Dominic dito on how it occurs during the coaching process. So, pinaka-striking dito yung pagiging empowered nila that eventually would lead to child outcomes. Kasi without them being empowered na, ay, kaya ko palang gawin tong approach na to, pwede ko pala tong gawin. Or nagawa ko naman na pala to before, hindi ko ma-facilitate yung intervention sa sarili ko. So whereas yun nga, using the coaching process itself, we would be able to lead the caregivers to improve their child's occupational performance at the end of the day. So going back, yung parent outcomes, dito I think, tatanong ko rin kay Dominic mamaya kung may ginagamit sila sa clinic, pero mostly they use here assessment tools, assessing yun nga for self-efficacy and competence. Tapos, for the child outcomes, mostly they use the COPM to measure occupational performance at saka satisfaction ng caregivers dun sa process. Pero, and bonus na nga yun na nabanggit ni Dominic na mga benefits, yung mga personal benefits na nakita niya. So, yung trust na na-create with the collaboration that they did with the caregivers, that would eventually lead to more learnings kasi mas dadaldal sila. Alam nyo, meron nga akong nabasang literature, ang sinabi, most of the coaching process, ang division ng pagsasalita, 20-25% na nangyayari binibigay ng therapist, 70 to 75% ang nagsasalita, magulang lang. So kumbaga yun yung nagpapakita na ay oo nga no. So lahat nung nangyari dun sa session, sa bibig lumabas ng magulang, tayo lang talaga yung magpa-facilitate at mag-guide during the process using those reflective questions and feedback. Okay? So mamaya, yan, tingnan natin kung masagot ni Dominic yung questions ko on the assessments, kung may ginagawa ba sila, or kung side bonus na lang yung benefits na nabanggit ko, especially for capabilities ng parents. Thank you.
Ayan, okay. So it's really good na nakita natin, narinig natin from our speakers yung pangalan niyan, yung effects, benefits ng occupation-based coaching, both from the perspective of clinical practice, and also we were able to see evidences, literature supporting the benefits of occupation-based coaching for both in client and for telehealth.
Okay, so maybe the viewers have already been are already wanting to know how does a typical session run when we are doing occupation-based coaching. So from the preparation, what are the things that an OT need to prepare, to the implementation, and to the actual documentation or monitoring? Maybe Dom can give us an overview. How does a typical session using occupation-based coaching would be?
Thank you, Kim. So I'll be sharing my slides again. Okay. So what does a typical session look like? Okay. So I included this part prior to the start of coaching because not all parents are coachable. We have to accept that. So we have to understand first, ano ba yung mga kailangan nating gawin bago mag-start yung mismong coaching session. No? So I just summarize it. So first, we do some check-ins. So I'll describe it later. Technical troubleshooting, since we're doing telehealth, goal setting, and setting the schedule. So for the check-in, what I usually do is I do interview the parents or the caregiver, how they are doing, especially during this pandemic. No? I think aware naman tayo na maraming mga nagkaroon ng unemployment, yung iba work from home, so additional stress yon since it's a new environment for them. So it's very, very important to ask how they're doing. And of course, we have to ask, how is the child doing at home? Ano yung mga activities niya? Kamusta siya? No? So, some of my clients umiiyak kasi nami-miss nila yung clinic setup, or yung iba nami-miss nila yung mga classmates nila. So, different ang coping ng bawat isa. May isa rin akong client, masaya siya during this pandemic, no? Kasi kasama niya yung parents niya. Diba? Kasi usually, nagtatrabaho yung parents. But since we have this pandemic or lockdown, nasa bahay lang sila. So, very excited siya or very happy siya. No? Okay? And then, aside from that, of course, I ask the routine and the interest of the child. So, as mentioned earlier, so, minsan tinatanong ko rin yung child or yung client kung verbal siya, kung nakakausap ko siya. But usually, I ask, ano yung mga toys na meron sila. So, usually, I make a list, no? So, ano po yung mga laruan na meron siya? Ano yung mga favorite niyang toys dyan, no? Kasi, kapag sa clinic, diba, usually, ang ginagawa lang natin, kung ano yung kaparehong toy, yun yung gagamitin natin. No? Pero dito, we're actually getting the preferred toys that they really like, no? So, very occupation-based siya. And of course, the activities, very important. While we're doing the check-in, we have to show empathy. Okay? So, alam natin na lahat tayo nagkakaroon ng problem, no? Hindi lang sila yung nawalan ng trabaho. Some of us, wala rin tayong clients or sobrang konti ng clients for teletherapy. So, we have to show empathy. And of course, active listening. We don't know if there are also problems or difficulties they're experiencing. So, we have to lend our ears to them. And very important though, we have to be encouraging. No? So we have to encourage na lahat po tayo, we're experiencing this pandemic, we're experiencing this stressful situation. So is there anything I can do to help you? Okay, so some encouraging statements. Okay. For technical troubleshooting, so I think this one was tackled earlier during the OTalakayan is check the sound, the video, the lighting, the environment. Very important. Saan nyo gagawin yung sessions nyo? No? Is it a safe space or place? Is it a comfortable place? Or is it a familiar place? No? Most of my clients have autism. So familiarity is very, very important. No? So kung saan kami nagsisession na relate niya na play or doon siya nagsistudy, parang study time or study area, yun yung ginagamit namin. Okay? Internet connectivity, very important din. And the gadget being used. No? So, pwedeng phone. So, maliit lang yung screen. So, minsan, hindi kayo magkikitaan. So, you can ask if meron ba siyang bigger screen like a tablet or maybe a computer, a laptop. So, yeah. So, those are the things that we ask. Okay? Aside from that, we set the goals. So, how do I do it? I show them first the goals we were targeting in the center. So, I show them, Mommy, Daddy, ito po yung goals natin na tina-target sa center. Then, I ask them if these are the same goals we can target at home. Or, do you have goals you want to target at home? Na? Remember, some of these parents or caregivers, iba na yung kanilang concern since nasa bahay sila. Hindi compared, for example, na sa clinic sila, no? So, pwedeng more on school-based ang goal or more on attention, no? Pero dito sa bahay, baka may problem sa mealtime. Baka may problem with your toileting, diba? Wee-wee, sa pagpupo, problem yon, diba? Or baka problem is play, hindi siya marunong maglaro ng mga toys niya. Those are things na kailangan natin makita, baka goals na rin ng parents yun. Okay? Sample questions that I ask them is, what do you want to be easier for your child? Ano yung mga gusto nyo pong mas magawa niya na mas madali? No? Or, what are the activities you like your child to learn at home during this period? So, ganun ka-specific. No? So, pansin nyo, di ba, yung goal setting namin, meron akong konting input, pero bulk of it is from the parents. So, it's parent-identified goals, specifically in the home context. Okay? And then, setting the schedule. Okay? So, while we set the schedule, it's very important na ano yung goals. Diba? For example, I wrote here for meal time. So, syempre, ang time nyo or schedule nyo is around breakfast or lunchtime. Diba? Kunwari, play. So, anong oras po ba siya madalas na naglalaro? O yung lagi siyang naglalaro ng mga toys niya? No? The work from home schedule of the parents, very important. And the availability. Remember, we are coaching the parents. So, they have to be available. We have to ask if this time or schedule is available for them. Okay. Okay na. So, naset na natin yung schedule, naset na natin yung goals. It's time for the session or the coaching session. Okay. So, how do I prepare? So, first, I review the goals. No? Ano ba yung goals na sinet namin ni mom? And then, the toys or activities the child has at home. Ano ba yung mga activities na meron siya or mga toys niya? No? So, may isa akong client before this one, so before the actual session, pinakita niya lahat ng toys niya. No? So, lahat, puro educational toys, puro puzzles. So, parang iniisip ko, okay, how can I integrate all of those and guide the parent in thinking the same way? Okay? So, hindi ko siya sasabihin na, oh, mommy, ito po yung gagawin natin. No. So, I have to think first, and then, how can I help the child, or help the parent think the same way? Kasi technically, yun yung goal ng coaching, di ba? Kung ano yung iniisip mo, dapat, yun yung maisip din niya para same page kayo. Okay? So, that's a very difficult one, but I guess Bernard will share some strategies later about questioning. Okay? So, very important is clinical reasoning, thinking out loud. Diba? So, for example, I have this thought, no? The child likes to run around and jumps on his bed and likes letters. So, ano kayang pwede kong gawin? So, may iniisip na akong obstacle course in my head. So, magja-jump siya, magko-crawl siya. So, may ganun na ako in head. However, I have to keep it inside my head in case the parents will have a hard time planning one. Diba? So, nag-session na kayo, tapos, mukhang nahihirapan si Mami mag-plan. So, tatanungin ko siya. So, Mami, paano po natin mo-promote yung crawling? Saan po siya pwedeng mag-crawl? Since naisip po natin na okay sa kanya mag-crawl. So, mag-iisip na sila. Ay, teacher, pwede po sa ilalim ng table. Sige, Mami. Good po yan. So, set up natin yung table. Okay? Teacher, gusto ko niyang mag-climb. Ano kayang pwedeng gawin? During your preparation, naisip mo, parang meron ditong cabinet na safe naman siyang akyatan. So, sige, Mami, ano po yung mga pwedeng niya akyatan dyan na safe? No? Ma-assist niyo siya. Teacher, favorite niya tong cabinet na to, for example. Sige po, Mami, try natin na ito yung activity natin, no? Since you observe na yan yung gusto niya. So, gano'n. For worksheets naman, for example, mga tabletop tasks. If the child likes coloring or tracing, I will prepare 3 to 5 worksheets and send to the parents for them to choose. No? So, binibigyan ko sila ng options kung ano yung mga worksheets na gusto nilang ipagawa dun sa child. No? So, very high ang autonomy ng parents. Okay? And then, to cap off preparation, just be ready for the best and the worst. Okay? Bakit? May best days and worst days. Okay? May day na iiyak lang ang iyong child habang nagko-coach si Mommy. It's gonna be frustrating, but you have to be there for the parent. Okay? You have to be there to guide him or her. And of course, there will be best days. Okay? And then the actual session. So, check-in is very important. Kamusta po, Mommy? Kamusta po ang work? Kamusta po kayo dyan sa bahay? And then we greet the child. So, good morning, good afternoon. Okay. An important tip that I have to share to everyone, especially kung early intervention or pediatric practice na early intervention, the child need not to stay in front of the screen. Hindi ko sila, kailangan nakasit down ka. Look at teacher. Hindi laging gano'n. Or as much as possible, I allow the child to do his usual routine. Kung nagpe-play siya, I allow him to play. I allow him to do what his routine looks like. And then I say hello to him, and then I talk to the parent or caregiver. So para alam niya na nandun ako. Nandun yung presence ko. And then, we plan the session together. Like, for example, this one is a very usual kong intro or introduction na sinasabi. So, ate, for example, caregiver. Ate, paano po ang setup ng obstacle course natin? So, si ate magsiset up na. So, sabihin niya sa akin, teacher, ang gagawin po natin is magka-climb siya sa bed, tapos magja-jump siya, pupunta sa floor, tapos lalagyan niya doon yung puzzle, tapos iikot ulit siya, magra-run siya. Okay, very good po ate. Sige. So, I allow her to show it to me, then I give feedback. So, ganun po. Very good po ate, yan. Sige, tama po yung ginawa ninyo. Yun nga lang po, maging careful lang tayo ha, kasi syempre pag-aakyat, so may mga ganun prompts lang for safety nung child. Okay? And then, I also provide in-session feedback. Halimbawa, nag-obstacle course na or currently nagti-tabletop task na. So, I give specific feedback like reinforcement, like, tama po yan ate. Nag-respond po ba siya nung nag-verbal prompts kayo? Yan. So, yung mga tanong ko. Habang nagsisession, para maging aware din si Mommy, remember, reflection and feedback. O nga, no, nag-respond ba siya? Oo, teacher, nag-respond siya. Okay. Sige. Or, sa tingin niyo po, Mommy, nag-work po ba? O halimbawa, physical prompt naman. Nag-work po ba yung physical prompt na binigay natin para makapagsulat siya? Okay? Or para makapag-play siya ng toy, nag-favorite niya? Yan. So, sometimes, I demonstrate the prompting to the caregiver before she does it to the child. Halimbawa, no, hindi siya nakatingin. So, for example, nagtitracing kami, tapos, teacher, hindi siya tumitingin. Sige, sabi ko, ate, ano po yung nag-work na? Ano yung mga na-try nyo? Nag-verbal prompt na, pumunta na siya sa likod, ayaw pa din. No? So, pinapa-problem solve ko. Ano po kaya yung pwede nating gawin para yung eyes po niya nakatingin po dun sa task? Teacher, baka pwede po natin i-prompt yung head niya papunta dun sa task. Sige nga po ate, try niyo po. Tapos gagawin niya, tapos, okay, nag-work. Okay po ate, so try niyo po ulit kapag hindi siya nakatingin. So yun. So ganun yung nagiging coaching na ginagawa ko. And then for tabletop task, I do demo and return demo. So ganun usually yung look ng aking session, no, actual session. Okay? And then for termination, I usually provide feedback and question and answer. Diba? The typical, kumusta po yung session? Kamusta po kayo? No? Minsan kasi kunwari, no, early intervention, takbo ng takbo yung parent, no? Sana mo pawis na, di ba? So, kailangan mo kamustahin. Mami, kamusta po? Okay lang po, teacher, workout. Ayan, gaganyan sila. So, mag-joke sila, no? So, tatanungin ko na, ano po yung mga nag-work sa session natin today? Yung mga naging effective para makapag-play tayo with the child, no? Ano po yung mga hindi nag-work na strategies? So, yun po yung mga tinatanong ko. And then, next session po, ano po yung mga pwede nating activity to target the goal? So, magpa-plan ulit kami. No? Joint plans, as mentioned earlier. So, ano yung activity natin? And then, ano yung mga gagawin natin for the next session? And then, of course, note-taking is very important. Since telehealth tayo, we use Google Docs. No? So, very online-based kami. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dom, for really explaining all the steps that we will be doing when it comes to using occupation-based coaching. You mentioned something about questioning.
Yeah.
The importance of giving out those relevant questions. So maybe Bernard can give us also a guide, or you could tell to the viewers what are the types of questions that we could incorporate when it comes to occupation-based coaching.
Okay. For that, I'll be sharing these reflective questions. So kanina kung nakikinig kayo kay Dominic, he made mention a lot of questions that can fall under these categories. So kanina, na-mention niya yung mga terms na awareness. Tapos, nagtanong siya kung Mami, anong options? So may alternative. Tapos kung ano yung gagawin nila in the future. So, isa-isahin natin. So first, yung awareness. So, the coaching process itself invites the caregivers to be reflective. And these questions can help us answer those and can help us answer and provide information kung ano ba yung i-reflect na nila dapat sa utak nila. Kasi as therapist, tayo parang automatic na lang to, di ba? Ano yung ginawa ko? Ano yung nag-work? Ano yung pwede kong gawing options? Anong gagawin ko sa susunod? Di ba? Ganun lang kabilis. Pero for the caregivers, it's not the case. Siguro dito ang i-share ko yung experience ko dun sa kid ko, pero hindi pa during telehealth session. Example, awareness. So for awareness questions, you want them to be aware on the things that they did during the intervention. So halimbawa, awareness. Mami, ano po yung ginamit yung technique dun sa bata? Anong modifications, anong modifications sa materials yung binigay ninyo? Mami, ano po sa tingin niyo yung nag-work before? So yun yung mga yung magre-recall sila ng knowledge or experiences nila. Basically, that's awareness. So halimbawa dun sa kid ko na tinuruan ko yung mommy how to feed the child. Mami, ano po yung ginawa ninyo kanina dun sa pagkain na binigay ninyo? So possible answer, I mashed it first, teacher. So let's stop on that. I mashed it. Sunod, analysis. Mommy, nung tinry niyo yung pag-mash, ano nangyari? Ano yung naging response ng bata? So doon, it promotes analysis kasi titingnan na niya kung nag-work ba yung yung ginawa niya. And possibly, you can also answer questions such as, Mommy, how do you compare it nung ang tinry niyo is medyo soggy or medyo damp or wet yung food? So it promotes analysis, comparison ng differences ng similarities ng in-apply nila. Next, alternatives. So dito, pwede nyo nang tanong, Mami, so kung nag-work yung match food, ano kaya yung pwede nyong gawin sa susunod? Ano po yung alternate siguro na food na pwede nyong ibigay? So that creates time for them to problem solve further. Na sila yung mag-isip ulit kung ano yung pwede nang ipalit dun sa initial technique or approach na ginawa nila. And last, action. So yung action yung pinaka-important kasi dito mo malalaman kung gagawin ba nila ito. So halimbawa nito, Mami, sa susunod po na session natin, ano po yung gagawin nyo? Mami, over the break po, sa finish na yung session natin, ano yung plano nyong gawin? Ano yung resources na gagamitin ninyo para po ma-achieve nyo yung plans ninyo? And kung tutuusin natin, itong lahat ng process na to, yun nga po, it facilitates problem solving, effective problem solving. Kasi kung hindi sila, if we didn't make them aware of the techniques or things that they used, of the nuances that has transpired during the intervention, yung response ng nung bata, walang problem solving na magaganap, walang coaching na naganap. Sana nag-directive ka na lang. So those are the types of questions na tatanong natin. So kanina, sinabi ni Dominic, parang mahirap yung coaching. It's tedious. Yes, I'd have to agree on that. It's really tedious, lalo na for everyone actually, na bago lang yung concept kasi perception ko lang naman nung pumotok ko yung telehealth, ang banners ng mga centers, parent coaching. But ang question ko sa isip ko, are they really employing parent coaching? So, using, yung natututunan natin ngayon, hopefully, mas ma-furnish natin yung coaching processes natin sa center. So, that's one, reflective questioning. Next is yung types of feedback. So, kung mapapansin nyo dito sa feedback, I have 4. Tapos yung directive, iba na yung kulay niya, no? So, halos nag-fade na siya sa background. Pero ang rationale lang dito is, yun, ulit-ulit namin sinabi ni Dominic, the coaching process promotes caregiver-identified solutions. We do not want them to be directive. Pero, tingnan natin, kung meron bang chance na pwedeng directive. Tingnan natin. Pero let's first explain yung affirmative. Affirmative, ito yung ginagawa natin kanina nung nakikinig tayo kay Dominic. Although naka-mute yung mic natin, pero possible feedback natin I understand. That's right. Correct. Tama yun So that promotes, that actually facilitates the caregivers to share more. Kasi ikaw, yung feedback mo sa kanya is inviting, ay, nakikinig to. You're listening. You're empathizing on what they're saying. So it promotes them to talk more and it promotes more insights na lumabas. At doon ulit tayo magkakaroon ng basis for coaching. Ay, parang sablay si Mami doon Sige, bahin ko na lang. Pasukan ko ng feedback ulit. Or questions. Pasukan ko ng questions doon sa nasasabi lang niya. Evaluative. Ito, sinabi ni Dominic dito a lot of times. During the session itself and after the session or during the termination part. So, evaluative. Mami, I noticed kanina, nag-work po yung ginawa, ganito yung response ni baby, kumain siya. Ano po sa tingin niyo yung nag-cause ano yung ginawa ninyo na that led to, for that to happen? So, dito, you're evaluating the performance and you may be using some encouraging strategies already para mas gawin pa ulit nila. So, halimbawa, praktisado naman tayo dito, Mommy, you did very well kanina. Good job ka dyan, di ba? Pero, ang tandaan natin for evaluative feedback, lalo na yung positive, kailangan, pag too much naman siya, it creates a dependence on those positive feedbacks for them to act. Kung hindi ka nag-feedback positively na tama yung ginawa naman nila, hindi na sila nag-iisip. So, maybe ito, pwede nating sundot-sundutin lang during the feedback and perhaps use other kinds of feedbacks and reflective questionings para hindi naman sila maging dependent lang dun sa positive feedbacks natin bago sila mag-isip for themselves kung nag-work ba talaga yung ginawa nila. Kasi, di ba, ang gusto din natin dito, sila yung mag-assess, sila yung mag-evaluate. Tayo, i-guide lang natin sila mag-evaluate para sila makapagsabi mismo sa sarili nila na, ay, good job ako kanina. Nakita ko nung ginawa ko to sa anak ko, umihimik siya, umupo lang siya. And that creates competence, self-efficacy. Kasi sila yung, kumbaga internally, sila yung internally naka-experience nung reinforcement, kumbaga. Hindi lang siya nag-base dun sa evaluative feedback ng therapist, which is an external reinforcement kung tutuusin. Di ba? And next, informative. So, yung informative, ito yung siguro yung ginagawa natin na halimbawa nakita mo na yung caregivers na nahihirapan na talaga, pwede ka nang magbigay ng informative feedback. So, mommy, perhaps you can try this. Pero, para mapasukan mo pa rin siya ng coaching, pwede mong tanongin, Mami, nung tinry niyo yung ginawa ko, yung sinuggest ko, what happened? What was the effect? Teacher, ganito, ganito. Sa tingin niyo po ba, agree po ba kayo? Or do you feel good when you're doing it? So in that sense, binabalik mo ulit siya dun sa reflective loop. Kasi, although binigyan mo siya ng suggestion, binalik mo pa rin yung questioning. And that's still facilitated coaching. So, kung tatanungin nyo kung bawal ba na magbigay talaga ng information at all with coaching, hindi. Pwede. There's actually merong tinatawag na information exchange na tinatawag na pwede pa rin naman tayo magbigay ng techniques, knowledge on how they can adapt the activity, yung mga materials, yung date nila. Pwede pa rin tayo mag-provide nun ng mga ganong klaseng information kasi ito, kumbaga, under yung coaching, under siya ng umbrella term ng parent education and training. So, we can still provide some education during the process. Hindi lang solely coaching. Tapos last, yung pinakaayaw nga natin, directive, na mami gawin mo to. Mami, ganyan, ganyan. Pero siguro, eto, pwede mong gamitin, yung sinabi kanina ni Dominic, there are best days and worst days. So perhaps dun sa worst days, kung nakikita niyong nananakal na yung bata, sinasamunutan na si Mommy, Mommy, gawin niyo to. Di ba? Pwedeng directive feedback na. Para, masolusyonan at yung nangyayari at the moment. So, pwede naman siyang gamitin, pero yun nga, at a certain amount of, and yan, very, very minimal if you really want to stay true to the principles of coaching. Okay? So, yun yung mga feedback natin and reflections na ginagamit natin sa coaching. And yun, yung mga questions na yun, again, those promote the self-efficacy of the caregivers and lalong-lalo na problem-solving skills. Para at the end, in the long run, you want them to be the one who will make solutions for themselves at hindi lang lagi nakadepend sa ating therapists. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dom and Bernard. Now that we know how a typical session for occupation-based coaching works, and as well as new lines of feedback, lines of questioning that we could give to our clients, to our parents. Now, maybe it's also good to know the challenges in implementing occupation-based coaching and how we deal with it. Maybe Dom can enlighten us.
Thank you, Dennis. So I'll keep this short and simple. Okay. So what are the challenges that I have experienced? So these are some personal challenges that I experienced. So first of all, poor internet connectivity. So alam naman po natin, no, sa Pilipinas, hindi ganun kagandahan ng internet connection. So minsan nakakarinig ako ng, teacher, choppy kayo. Teacher, pakiulit. Teacher, hindi ko po kayo marinig. Or minsan, vice versa. No? Mommy, hindi ko po makita or blurred yung picture. No? Usually, what I do is pause. Okay? And then identify sino bang nagkakaroon ng problem. And then I ask the parents kung pwedeng magpalit sila ng gadget or maybe they have to check their internet connection or vice versa. Baka ako yung may problem. So you have to be sensitive on that. Okay? One thing that would arise from a poor internet connectivity is anxiety. No? minsan yung parents nagpapanik, ala, nawawala si teacher, no? And minsan, tayo din, as the therapist, nagpapanik din tayo, hala, hindi ako makita, hindi ko siya mag-guide, no? So remember that the anxiety with technology use is shared with the therapist and the parent. So you have to be really, really sensitive to that. Okay? Next would be child is not following the parent or the caregiver. So I think that's a very common, no? Teacher, hindi siya nagpo-follow, ayaw niya akong sundin. No? So usually, as a reflective question, we can ask, ano po ba yung ginagawa niya at the moment? Ano po ba yung kanyang activities? Ano yung ginagawa niya ngayon? Tapos magde-describe si Mommy. Ngayon, nasa may window lang po siya nakatingin. Sige po, Mommy. Ano yung pwede nating gawin para mag-connect tayo sa kanya or mapansin tayo? No? So, mag-iisip siya, mag-problem solving, magkakaroon ng analysis. O nga, no, paano ko siya mako-connect? Paano kami magko-connect? And then, eventually, kapag naisip niya na, teacher, pwede ba akong lumapit sa kanya tapos i-describe kung ano nakikita niya? Yes, Mommy, try niyo po. Ayan. So, ganun siya. No? And with the following kasi are compliance, ang daming reasons. No? So, pwedeng sensory issue, pwedeng cognitive issue, hindi niya kayang i-follow yung command na binigay niyo. So, ang dami na kailangan isipin. No? So, you have to know the reason for the behavior, the reason for not following. Next, limited resources. Diba? Nasanay tayo sa clinic na may trampoline, may slide, diba? So, sanay tayo doon. Ngayon, since nasa bahay, hindi lahat ng resources na yon meron sila. So, you have to be creative. Diba? You have to use what the family has as an obstacle or pwede siyang equipment, diba? Parang yung bed. Imbes na tatalon lang siya doon, pwede siya umakyat doon. So, that's a proprioception activity, a proprioceptive activity. No? Okay? Unmotivated parent or caregiver. Yes, ang dami. Ang dami kong na-encounter na unmotivated ang parent or caregiver. No? So, usually, what I do is talk to them and make them understand the behavior of the child. No? Bakit sa tingin niyo po, Mami, hirap ang occupation-based coaching or teletherapy for that matter? And then, I do empathy and I practice empathy and active listening. No? So, usually, ino-observe ko sila maglaro together or mag-activity together para makita ko. And then, I'll tell them what I observe. So that awareness, so pasok yung sa sinabi ni Bernard kanina na awareness, then analysis, diba? Then alternatives, and then action. Okay? Therapist is not equipped. No? This is new to everyone, as mentioned earlier. So you have to look for a senior or someone who has experience in occupation-based coaching via telehealth and then consult. I think maraming mga literature then, no? As Bernard mentioned, and I think we will share it later, that you can refer to guide your occupation-based coaching practice. Okay? And then presence of other members of the family, yes. Minsan lalabas yung kapatid, minsan may lalabas na lolo, lola, buong barangay nasa video call na. So ano 'yun, 'di ba? Nakaka-stress, so nakaka-overwhelm. So sometimes it's the setting of the goals, no? Or setting of the boundaries then. No? So for example, Mami, sino po ba yung main na magtuturo or magfa-facilitate kay child? So maybe some of the members labas muna, no? Or if you want to really incorporate, pwede silang kasama. No? It depends on the goal that you're setting. Okay? So those are, I think, marami pang challenges. Pero in our context right now, ito yung mga nakita ko. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, I think what is good is even if we have identified so many challenges, but if we will really be also giving or posing those questions that were presented a while ago, the therapist and the caregiver could really troubleshoot and give certain solutions to these challenges that were presented. Thank you, Dom. So I have another question. Can this approach be done directly with the clients? Maybe we're thinking about highly functioning clients. Instead of us talking to the caregivers or to the parents, can this approach be done directly with our clients? Maybe we could start with Bernard.
Thanks for that question, Jim. pwede siyang gamitin yung coaching, yung parent occupation-based coaching natin with clients themselves. And tama ka na usually medyo doon tayo sa high function na focus doon sa may mga, lalo na yung issues with executive functions. So kung may goal tayo for metacognition, ganyan, we can highlight these reflective questions as well and feedback doon sa intervention. And aside from that, aside from the pediatric population actually, pwede rin siyang gamitin to other settings. So example nito, may study na nagsabi sa stroke population. So ang ginamit nilang model is yung OPC, Occupational Performance Coaching for stroke, for chronic stroke patients. And for the effect naman, it was found to be effective, especially on goals related to occupational performance nung stroke patient sa house and the satisfaction as well. So COPM yung ginamit. Ang pumalya lang yung results nun kasi when it comes to anxiety and depression, kasi ang kinoment nung patient dun sa qualitative interview, gusto niya pang ma-extend yung coaching process kasi he found a friend dun sa therapist. Kaya in a sense, it kind of affected his emotional well-being nung matatapos na. So na-affect yung ratings dun sa depression. Pero if we're going to stay true with its effect on occupational performance, it's very, very useful. Medyo on the psycho population, yung mga clients natin doon purely related to coaching in itself. So ito kasing sa atin sa na ginagamit for occupational-based coaching, nandun we're treading a line in the middle na pwede tayong mag-direct, pwede tayong mag-coach. Kasi dun sa principles ng analysis, yung mga patients natin, ito yung feedback na binibigay. Kaya coaching, iba sa kanila. Kaya yung sa atin, at function context. Thank you.
Okay, Dom, would you want to add something?
Actually, na-explain na lahat ni Bernard, no? So, I agree, no? Siguro, on my part, I've tried occupation-based coaching with some of my adolescent clients, no? So, we did some pancake making, so kitchen yung environment, no? And then, we did some money management kasi may store siya. So, I think it's really possible that you can use. Basta, i-highlight lang yung role na ang parents and the therapist will be there to support. Okay? So hindi siya as mentioned earlier, hindi lang siya purely directive. No, it could be informative, evaluative, or assertive. Affirmative, sorry.
Okay. Thank you, Bernard and Dom, for those answers. Now, at this point in our OTalakayan, maybe we can answer some of the questions of our watchers, of our members. So one question here is, how often should we schedule our sessions when employing occupation-based coaching? And how long do sessions typically last? So maybe Dom or Bernard could answer that.
Sige, I'll answer first, no. So in terms of how often, no? So how often, I think we have to go back dun sa slide or dun sa pinakita kong visual na we have to look into the schedule or the availability of the parent, no? Kasi some of the parents willing sila to do, for example, 2 times or thrice, no? So we have to ask them, okay po ba yung ganun kadalas, no? Or minsan, since may work from home sila, once a week lang. No? So usually, what we base our schedules or yung frequency ng sessions would be, ilang sessions ba sila dati sa center? Diba? For example, twice sila. So they will ask, teacher, kaya po ba ng twice? So kung okay sila, you have to look into yourself also. Kaya ko ba ng twice? Diba? Remember, you're part of the collaboration. So, kung ikaw mismo, hindi ka rin ready to give or to provide that coaching, maybe you have to go to a once a week session muna. And then, pag okay na lahat, okay na yung trust, okay na yung parang pace, tsaka tayo siguro mag-twice. No? In terms of the duration, no? So in our clinic, we usually do a 30 to 40 minute, no? And that could some clinics do 1 hour. So I have feedback. So it depends on the goal, no? If it's a worst day, like I mentioned earlier, that could last for an hour, no? Kasi just imagine coaching, giving feedback, allowing the parent to regulate herself or himself, allowing yourself to regulate. Those are important things to consider. However, if you think na medyo, oy, parang okay na, nakukuha na nila yung pace na occupation-based coaching, no? So maybe a 30 minutes or 40 minutes will do. So it depends on your agreement with the clinic or with the protocol that you're using.
Siguro dagdag ko lang dun sa sinabi ni Dom. Depende pa rin siya dun sa, una, sa caregiver. Kung gusto ba niya yung parent coaching in the first place as a mode of intervention. And aside from that, pwede rin sigurong gawing basis dito is kung ano yung sinet na nung hospital na protocol. So, kung kanina naman binigyan na tayo ni Dominic kung paano niya hinahati yung oras niya during the coaching process. So, kanina, ulitin ko lang, he said that he can provide feedback during and after. So, pwede rin namang gawin nyo kung ang 1 hour, yung duration ng therapy session natin. So, perhaps dun sa 5 minutes, yung first 5 to 10 minutes, so naandun kayo revisiting the goals, checking in. Tapos 30 minutes, you let the caregiver do the intervention. And dun sa last 10 to 15 minutes, pwede nyo dun incorporate yung coaching strategies natin para hindi naman din siya overwhelming sa caregivers kasi kung ibabalik natin to dun sa adult learning practice, hindi lahat sila pare-parehas ng reception dun sa gagawin nating process. So kahit tayo, dapat matuto tayo kung paano natin i-gradate yung pag-introduce ng principles ng coaching para hindi naman din sila mabigla. Kasi kung tutuusin mo para kang, pwede maging perception naging parang nasa NBI sila. Na puro questioning. So maybe you can tone it down a bit. For the meantime, pwedeng sa dulo na lang. And siguro depende na lang din dun sa capacities ng caregivers kasi some caregivers may be kumbaga effective na already in problem solving and reflection. So pwedeng dulo-dulo na talaga siya. Versus kung if you're just building the capacities talaga na medyo heavy talaga yung magiging coaching process. So yun siguro yung kailangan nyo tansyahin. And I'm sure magagawa nyo yun dapat kasi nga may experience kayo dun sa caregivers. Kilala nyo sila, ano yung capacities nila. And yun yung magiging basis nyo how long this process is gonna be. So hindi yung pwedeng nga may template, yes. Pero pwede rin consider nyo talaga yung caregiver, ano yung capacities niya, tsaka nyo i-gradate yung magiging coaching process.
Yeah. Siguro to add din kay Bernard, no? Remember, some of the parents, first time nyo mamimit. No?
Mm-hmm.
Kasi, di ba, usually yaya, ate, kuya yung nandun sa session to give feedback. So, that is something that you have to look into. Ano ba yung capacity ng parents na to? So, maybe for the first sessions, usap muna kayo, getting to know ano ba yung mga alam nila about their child or about the kid. And then, tsaka tayo mag-goal setting. So, hindi siya agad-agad after the session, okay, coaching agad. So, maybe you have to get to know first, no? The parents, kung first time yung mamimit. So, I have clients na, ay, mami, ikaw pala yan, no? First time ko siya makita. So, ang dami kong inisip, ano kaya siya, paano siya mag-isip, paano niya i-coach, paano niya i-help yung anak niya. So, something like that. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Bernard and Dom. I'm happy na we are able to share occupation-based coaching. And then hopefully we have made our watchers, our members realize na intuitively probably ginagawa nila some parts of occupation-based coaching. and if not, is to help them understand and how they could apply it to telehealth in our current situation. So given our limited amount of time for this OTalakayan, maybe Bernard and Dom, you could give your parting words for our members on occupation-based coaching.
I want to mag-start, Dominic.
Yeah, go
Kung
ahead.
sa akin, to end this, I'd like to tell everyone na kailangan natin i-accept na mahirap yung parent coaching. It's relatively new. Even the literature would agree on that. So, so sana huwag tayong ma-frustrate kung hindi natin siya magawa perfectly dun sa sessions natin agad-agad. So tulad ng caregivers, we are also learning the process. And as we experience this, mas magiging confident na tayo next sa susunod na i-apply natin to sa kanila. So hopefully yun, mas maging matapang lang tayo to try this kasi kailangan ng caregivers na, ng mga parents natin. So try natin, pero yun, don't get easily frustrated. Accept the fact that it's not easy, but still try.
Yeah. For me, for occupation-based coaching, so it's something new. For me, bago din siya. No? And then I think everyone to go with these words na una-una, you have to establish a good relationship with your parents or the caregivers. Okay? This coaching will not work if you don't have that therapeutic relationship. No? So empathy, very important. Active listening. No? So sometimes we think that, alam ko to. I know this client. I know how to help this. However, we are in a different situation. Okay? So you are virtually present, no? You're at a distance. So paano ko tutulungan yung parents to understand the child and how can they help the child? No? So I know we are all experts here. No, we are all occupational therapists. But when you're doing occupation-based coaching, you have to use another hat, which is more on a collaborator. No, you have to be that encouraging and collaborating therapist with the parents. Kasi hindi siya mag-work kapag walang ganong factor na hindi nila na-feel your concern, hindi nila na-feel yung inyong genuine parang interest dun sa child na matulungan siya. So I think that's some of the words that I want to impart to everyone.
So thank you. It's a very informative session. So yes, this is relatively new, but given the benefits that were presented, I think it's really worth trying. And team resource persons really presented us what a good occupation-based coaching could do to the parents. So they would really be active now when it comes to the therapeutic process. And without us knowing, they would have these success experiences that they would keep on having, that they would keep on seeing. And without us knowing too, they would really become experts too in handling their children and addressing their needs, provided that we are really genuine, really having that sense of empathy if when we doing this collaboration. So thank you as team resource persons. Maybe Dennis can introduce or can orient our viewers with our next episode, our episode 9.
Okay, so before we end our OTalakayan, I would like to invite our members to be with us again for episode 9, which will be on May 28, 2020. So that will be on Thursday again at 4:30 p.m. We have a very good topic in store, in line for you, which is sensory integration and interventions via telehealth. So we are honored to be with two esteemed guest speakers again. Mr. Eugene Liwag, who works in Corona Child and Family Services in Australia, and with Ms. Nika Carla Santos from ITS Integrated Therapy Solutions, Los Angeles, California. So we would like to invite you to again be with us or for the 9th episode of OTalakayan. So the links for this will be uploaded to our Facebook page for the Philippine Academy of Occupational Therapists.